Alright guys, today I'll be reviewing Flash Vertical Velocity at Six Flags Great Adventure. This is of course the new for 2025 Super Boomerang here. To be completely honest, I had unfair expectations for this thing. I sort of expected it to be a top 25 contender, when in reality it's just not. But despite that, it still impressed me enough to make my top 50, and I'll explain why in this review. So let's start off with the presentation as usual. And this ride looks great. This actually looks surprisingly good for being McDonald's colors. I definitely don't like red and yellow together, but it works well here. You got the Flash emblem at the top, and the lighting package on this ride is really cool. I didn't get to see it at its full potential, but it was a bit cloudy when I was at Great Adventure, so I did get to see the trains all lit up at some point, and that was really cool. It looks really nice. The ride just has this presence over the entire front half of the park. It looks really good. Now, the theming around this ride is kind of bad, I gotta admit. They really didn't try that hard. I could tell they're definitely setting up a few more things, but it's basic Six Flags theming here. It looks nice. That one shot where you're looking straight at it from where Cyborg used to be is really cool. You know what I'm talking about there. I'm showing it right now. But other than that, it's just kind of You walk through it, you hear the spiels, you see a few posters of Flash, and that's about it. It's pretty lame. The trains look cool, I'll admit that, but other than that, there's not much going on with the presentation. This ride has easily the biggest wait at Great Adventure right now, but I do expect that to calm down a bit in the future when this ride gets a bit older, but I still think it's going to have a pretty big wait due to that limited capacity. And yes, the capacity is awful. It is terrible. You move through those trains so slowly. The ops are pretty good on this ride, but there's not much they can do. The locker setup on this ride is pretty interesting. I noticed that this and El Toro definitely have very different free locker setups than other coasters I've been on, like Wildcats Revenge or Steel Vengeance. These lockers, you get a card, and then you scan the barcode on the card to the screen where, you'd usually type your PIN in, but now you just scan the barcode, and then you open up the locker, and there you go. It seems easier, but it's really not. You have to wait till there's enough cards, and I saw multiple times that staff were running out of cards, which kinda sucks. And then you also have to ride with the card in your pocket on the ride. I have cargo pants, so they're definitely not flying out of my pockets, but I could see how someone could easily lose this if they have looser pockets or no pockets at all and they're just hanging on to it. That could really suck because then they gotta go get a supervisor or something to go open up the lockers. I'm not exactly sure how that process works because I didn't see it in person, but I could see it being a hassle. Now, before we get into the ride, let's talk about row selection and the train itself. In terms of what row you want to go for, I would personally recommend the back row. I only got to try this ride twice, once in the second to front, once in the second to back, and I definitely enjoyed my ride in the back better. It felt a bit punchier, especially on a couple elements in particular. I'll get to those when we get into the layout breakdown, but overall, it's pretty good either way. It's not like there's a huge difference where it's like, okay, I'm waiting 3 extra cycles for the back, but it's definitely a bit better. In terms of which side you are on, unload or load side, I don't think it matters too much on this ride. I unfortunately only got to try the load side, not the unload side, but just looking at the profiling, I don't think it would make a huge difference. I do think on a couple elements, maybe one side's better than the other, but you'll barely notice it. If you only get one side like me, I don't think you should really worry. Now let's talk about these restraints. I'm sort of a fan, sort of not. These are actually pretty good compared to the B&M vests. You got that traditional lap bar plus the vest, which is really annoying that you need the vest. I don't know why Vekoma does that. They unfortunately do hinder the airtime a little bit, I feel like, but it's not that big of a deal. It's definitely not as bad as most of the B&M vests. You definitely get a bit more wiggle room with these ones, I felt. They have a lot more give. And of course, the lap bar portion is great. Now, if you're a bigger guest, you may struggle with these restraints. I know my dad, who's a bit bigger than me, was complaining about his shoulders getting killed by the vests. So just keep that in mind if you're on the larger side. Now, before we start, I have to talk about the onboard audio. It is amazing, and I love that pretty much every new gen Vekoma, it seems like, has onboard audio between Guardians, Big Bear, Tron, this, like at least in the US, like almost all of them have onboard audio, and I love this one. It's like this hype EDM Tomorrowland style music, it feels like, but with this lady narrating it, but it's not annoying at all. It fits in with the theme perfectly, actually, so I really like it. This is some great onboard audio here. Now, I'm finally going to get into the layout, and we're going to start off with the first launch, which is weak. It doesn't do anything. I hear some people saying it's got some punch. I didn't feel any punch, I'm going to admit. It was kind of stupid in the front and the back, but it's whatever. It's the first element. It's there to warm you up before the second launch, which actually is a bit punchy. You get thrown forward a bit. You feel the G's a little. It's definitely nothing too extreme. Don't go in expecting Storm Runner or Maverick or anything, but it's definitely a fun launch here. And then you head up the spike. The pull-up into it gives a little bit of positives in the front or the back, but the main appeal is the spike itself. If you're in the front, you're not even going to come out of your seat, but if you're in the back, you're going to get about 3 seconds of glorious sustained floater airtime, and that is the main reason why you want to be in the back. After this, you're going to level out, getting a bit of positives in any row. It's nothing special. And then you're going to hit the third launch, and to be honest, I thought this was kind of underwhelming. I didn't feel anything on this. It just felt like I was coasting. It didn't feel like I gained any speed, which I know you definitely do gain speed, but it's definitely not enough and not a quick enough acceleration. I really wish these launches were more intense, at least at the start here. So then you're going to pull up into the signature element, the stall. The pull up into it gives a little bit of positives, nothing too special, but the stall itself gives about 4 seconds of pure sustained hang time. It's not aggressive by any means, but you're just hanging there for what seems like forever, and it's great. Now, just because this is the longest feeling stall out of any of the stalls I've done, does not mean it's the best. This element is definitely not aggressive like some stalls like Air Force Ones, or even Velocicoasters or Pantheons or Wildcats Revenges. Those stalls, especially Air Force Ones, have some aggression to them, which unfortunately this one doesn't offer, at least on the forwards version. I'll get to the backwards later, but then you're going to twist out of this. If you're in the back, you'll get a bit of laterals, but it's very weak. You're basically not going to move. In the front, you're not going to get any laterals. And then you're going to hit this valley with the launch in the middle of it, and you feel it a little bit, but I feel like it's mostly how tight the valley is, not really the launch. You definitely get a bit of positives though, so don't worry. So then you're going to pop up into the double up. If you're in the front, you're going to get some really weak ejector on the first up, and then some stronger floater on the second up. If you're in the back, it's just floater all the way, nothing too special. This is definitely the element that shines the most in the front, so I definitely would recommend getting 2 rides to try the front and the back, because yeah, different elements shine in different rows. Now, the second up of the double down is going to drop you back down to the ground, and it's going to twist you 180 degrees to do that. So you're going to get a bit of laterals anywhere in the train. Honestly, it's about the same in the front and the back. You're definitely going to get thrown to the right a little bit, but again, it's nothing too special, definitely not the strongest laterals in the park. After that, you'll hit your second valley with a launch in the middle of it. This one also doesn't really feel like anything, just really there to boost you up to the top of the chiller roll and the spike. Speaking of the chiller roll, your next element is the chiller roll. I really like this element. I was surprised by it. This was probably one of 2 elements I was actually impressed with. I didn't think this element looked too good off-ride, but it actually gave some good laterals. It's definitely not Hell Roll or Arcade Roll level or anything like that, but it's very good. You get pretty aggressively thrown to the right if you're in the front. If you're in the back, you're going to get thrown to the right, but not as aggressively because, of course, you're slowing down going up. So then after the chiller roll, you're going to hit probably the most disappointing part of the ride in my opinion, and that is the second spike. Unfortunately, there is no airtime to be offered here in the front or the back, which I was very sad about because that first spike gave you some great airtime in the back row at least, but here there's nothing to be found. After this, you're going to take all the elements you just did in reverse, starting with the chiller roll. This is pretty much the opposite of how it was before. You're going to get some good laterals going to the left. Again, it's a bit more intense in the front, but you definitely get the laterals in the back as well. After this, you're going to hit the most intense part of the ride, which is this valley. Now, in the front, you're going to get some good positives on this, but in the back, the valley and the pull-up into this double down is really intense. It almost made me gray out. It's definitely one of the most positive G-heavy elements in the park. I honestly think it's almost as intense as Nitro's Helix. Not quite, but almost there. After this, you're going to pull up into the double down, and you get a bit more laterals on this pull-up here. A little weaker than forwards, but still good, and then you hit the double down. In the front, you're going to get very weak floater on the first down, and then flowjector on the second down, which doesn't sound too good, but remember, you're doing this backwards. So backwards flowjector is still really good. In the back, you get some really weak floater on the first down, but then surprisingly, you get almost as strong of airtime in the back on the second down as in the front. It's really surprising how good of airtime it is for being in the back row, but I would call it flowjector. It's really good, actually. So then you're going to hit the final launch, which unfortunately doesn't do anything for me, but then you hit the stall, and this is the best part of the ride, this backward stall. If you're in the back, you get some good laterals going into it. You definitely get thrown to the left a bit here. In the front, you really don't get laterals because you're going too slow at that point, but that does mean you hang for slightly longer in the front, but it really doesn't matter. I personally like it in the back a bit more for that aggression going into it, but it's up to personal preference. But either way, you get about 4 to 5 seconds of pure sustained hang time here. It's similar to the first one, but a bit more insane because you're going backwards. The sense of direction is a bit thrown off, and it's really good. After that, you dive down back into the station, and that is your ride on Flash Vertical Velocity. Overall, it's definitely not a family coaster. A lot of people were saying, oh yeah, it's a family coaster, it's a step down from Superman Ultimate Flight. No, I mean, literally Runaway Mine Train is a step up from Superman, so like, that's not saying much, but you get what I mean. A lot of people were saying this is going to be a tame little ride, nothing special, but no, it's definitely a thrill coaster. It's easily a thrill coaster, actually. It's in my top 50. It's a great ride, but it still left me slightly underwhelmed, and I think that might have just been an expectations thing. I was going into this expecting it to be number 2 in the park, when in reality it's number 3 in the park behind Jersey Devil. It's just not as aggressive as Jersey Devil. It's got some good moments, it's got that one moment of positives, it's got some good airtime, it's got the stall, it's got the spike, but there's really nothing that's too insane about this ride, and I think that's what really disappointed me, is there's not that, wow, that was insane moment. The closest thing is the backward stall, but I just don't think that compares to an element like Jersey Devil's first drop or something along those lines. It's not that insane. So for Flash Vertical Velocity's final score, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Currently, this is my number 39 overall. I really like it. It's a full package. There's about every force you could possibly imagine on here, and it's all good quality. But like I said, I was a little let down when I didn't find excellence. But that being said, I still think it's better than some people are saying. I've heard some people with even less credits than me who say this isn't even top 50 worthy for them. I definitely think it's top 50 worthy. It's got good enough airtime and forces to make it top 50 worthy, given how good the onboard audio is, how much of a full package experience this is, how long it is. It's a really solid ride. I mean, there's no denying it. This is going to be a GP magnet. It's intense, but not too intense to scare away the GP. So I think besides the capacity, this is actually a great fit for Great Adventure. It gives them a really good number 3, a really good number 2, 3, and 4 without King Ka here. And I think it's going to be a great fit for Great Adventure as long as they can get something truly top 10 worthy to replace King Ka. So that's my review of Flash Vertical Velocity. Let me know what you guys think of this ride down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.